Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education of Anne Arundel County. This meeting is being televised live on AACPS TV and streamed on AACPS's YouTube channel. General information and protocols for the meeting are posted on the side of the room, so please make sure you read those if you have not already done so. At this time, we'd like to have our invocation. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance. Stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we're at item 2.03, approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Consensus? Okay, we have consensus. Item 2.04, establishing our agenda order. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to establish the agenda as written.
Second.
Okay, do we have discussion? Consensus? We do. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to item 2.05, our Educator of the Month. So, ladies and gentlemen, today the Board of Education recognizes an educator who contributes to Ridgeway Elementary School daily with her special education knowledge and curriculum understanding, Mrs. Valerie Gottschalk. Ah, yes. Boy, look at that. So, Miss Gottschalk, she comes to work each day with energy, a smile, and a positive attitude to tackle unique challenges. She instructs students in grades 3 through 5 who require a self-contained learning environment for their core content classes. She preserves students' dignity and weaknesses by highlighting their strengths. She creates relationships with students which allow her to foster a safe and loving classroom. As a result, she holds her students with disabilities to a high level while ensuring that their individual needs are being met. She tracks student growth and holds students accountable for their growth. Ms. Gottschalk is trusted by her students. She has high energy, which allows her to meet all students' needs. Additionally, she is a collaborative member of the staff, working with general education teachers to create inclusive classrooms. She works as a teammate to ensure each student is getting what they need. She can boost morale by singing, dancing, and even answering her walkie with, "We gotta hear." Ms. Gottschalk is a valued member of the community, forming trusting relationships with the families on her caseload. She loves the students, staff, and the Ridgeway community. She can be counted on when Ridgeway needs something extra. She is even a visible presence outside during rain, snow, thunder, or heat while on bus duty. Ridgeway is certainly a better place because of Ms. Gottschalk. Valerie Gottschalk, the Board of Education, is grateful for your commitment to your students, and for these reasons, we award you as April 2025 Educator of the Month. Would you please come forward? So, congratulations.
Thanks. This is my good side.
How did they get you here today?
They told me someone was talking about self-contained classrooms.
Well, we did. We did. And who is here with you?
Well, Ridgeway, my family and the tribe, my husband.
Family, stand up.
Family.
These are for you.
Thank
Do
you.
you have anything you'd like to say?
Go AACPS.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are killing it out there.
Okay. So we're going to move on to item 2.06, our employee of the month. Ms. Pearl.
So today's employee of the month is Ms. Cheryl Neville, Principal Secretary, Center of Applied Technology, North, Cat North. I gotta speak, right? The employee of the month has done a fabulous job creating community amongst the administrative and secretarial staff at the Center of Applied Technology North. She is thoughtful and thinks of others first. She is acutely aware of who needs help, and she is quick to provide it. Ms. Neville is a consummate professional. She has calm, welcoming, and positive demeanor, but tenaciously attends to task, and her follow-through is second to none. Due to her leadership, her focus on customer service and attention to students in the office at Cat North is amazing. Her actions align with her core values of treating every person with kindness, compassion, and love. She treats everyone with respect and fairness. Cheryl is an AACPS rock star, says former principal Joe Rose. She continually expands her knowledge base, as well as encourages others to grow their skill sets in both technical and soft skills. She regularly joins staff in the hallway to greet students as they enter school. It is the little things like this that help make Cat North the best school on this side of the Colorado River. She maintains excellent working relationships with all students, staff members, and business partners. Additionally, she leads the office team with respect and dignity. She has facilitated training for her colleagues to increase their knowledge base regarding software and customer service skills. Her willingness to learn and become highly proficient with different technologies over the last few years is commendable. She has proven time and time again that she can handle a wide range of tasks promptly and efficiently while ensuring the school runs smoothly. Principal Jason Williams said, Ms. Neville simply keeps Cat North train running down the track and deserves every accolade that comes her way. So Cheryl Neville, for all these reasons and many more, today the Board of Education of Anne Arundel County is proud to award you as their April 2025 Employee of the Month. Would you please come down to accept this award? Congratulations. So
How did they get you here today?
They told me it was for Joe.
Oh my gosh, it's exciting. And who do you have here on your behalf?
It's my husband and my children.
Can you stand up, please, husband and children? This is for you. Do you have any words you'd like to share with everyone?
Oh, I'm truly honored. Truly honored. That's all.
Well, we're honored to have you, so that's all that matters, right? And so are our children. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 2.07, our volunteer of the month.
Andy Warhol once said, "The best thing about a picture is that it never changes, even when the people in it do." Our students change so much throughout their time with us, and this month's Volunteer of the Month captures those moments in time to help create lasting memories. It is an immense honor to recognize Rachel Bricker of Four Seasons Elementary as our April 2025 Volunteer of the Month. Mrs. Bricker is the heart and soul behind our yearbook committee. She dedicates countless hours to ensuring that every student, every class, and every special moment is captured and celebrated in our yearbook. Whether it's a big event or a small classroom activity, she is always there, camera in hand, ready to preserve the memories that our students and families will cherish for years to come. Her attention to detail is unmatched. She works tirelessly to make sure that every student who can be pictured is included and that the yearbook represents our school equitably and beautifully. She also leads the charge on picture days, organizing students for group photos and coordinating with classic photography to make the entire process seamless. Beyond her own efforts, Mrs. Bricker inspires and leads others. She recruits and supervises volunteers, ensuring that the yearbook committee runs smoothly and that picture days are well organized. It is a job that spans the entire year, and she does it with dedication, patience, and an incredible eye for detail. Ms. Bricker, your hard work, generosity, and passion do not go unnoticed. You are an invaluable asset to our school community, and we are so grateful for all that you do. Four Seasons Elementary and the entire Anne Arundel County Public Schools community is blessed to have such a dedicated volunteer, and we thank you for your service. Would you please come forward? Okay, how did they get you here?
She told me I was coming to take pictures.
Well, you are. And who do you have with you?
Our principal, Ms. Passwaters, and our secretary, Erica Allen.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to share?
I'm so excited and thankful to volunteer at Four Seasons. It's a great group of people and students, and just honored. We're so grateful to have you. Thank you.
Take some good pictures.
Okay, we're going to be moving on to item 2.08, recognitions. Ms. Lombardi?
President Silkworth, Francis Cruz is going to do the recognition.
Thank you, Ms. Lombardi. President Silkworth, Vice President Dent, member of the Board of Education, and Dr. Gillens. Good afternoon. I am Francis Cruz Serrano, the International Family Involvement Specialist, and it's a true honor to be here today and present this very special recognition. Wait for it. This year marked a significant milestone. We celebrating the 10th anniversary of the International Parent and Community Leadership Academy, known as IPCLA. Coordinated by the School and Family Partnership Office within the Communication Department, IPCLA has played a vital role in nurturing leadership among international parents and community members throughout Anne Arundel County. IPCLA has served as a transformative experience, empowering international families to take on leadership roles, connecting with others, and advocate for the student success. Over the course of 7 weeks, you heard that right, 7 weeks, participants gain a deeper understanding of the challenges facing international students and families. Learn about the many initiatives within ASCPS and discover ways to become meaningful and influential leaders in their community. I'm incredibly proud to chair. I knew it. That at first, I joined this program as a member, as a parent, and back in 2017 cohorts. Today, we have the privilege of leading the academy, and this is my third time doing so. Has been an experience that continues to inspire me even today. The impact of IPCLA extends far beyond the sections. Thank you. From previous cohorts, ASCPS has recruited a remarkable group of bilingual professionals now serving in diverse roles, including interpreters that are here today, bilingual facilitators, thank you, community school program managers, community school temporary liaisons, EOD para-educators, bilingual specialist support, and teachers. So, together, they form a powerful network of trailblazers committed to the academy's success and well-being of our English learners and international students. This year, we proudly recognize 26 individuals, 24 parents, and 2 community members from across Anne Arundel County. They represent 13 high school clusters out of our 14. I just missed one this year. 14 countries and 13 languages. A true reflection of the richness and diversity of our community. At this time, I would like to invite our 2025 IPCLA member to please stand as I call your name. Iyan Adodi, Carolina Aguirre Tapasco, Lucy Asenga, Maca Balechivazzi, Natalia Dispaldo, Valeria Facundo Pavón, Erika Fiestas Vargas, Verónica García de Marquez, Patricia Yatsu, Catherine Jiménez Valdez, Daniela Knight, Alejandra Melnick, Indira Membrano, Dairenis Montero, Evelyn Muñoz Molina, Leticia Núñez Loza, Nikun Patel, Katiuska Peña, Sandra Ramos Ávila, María Toledo Hernández, Salvador Vega, Sunit Upadhyay, and those who couldn't be with us today, Anastasia Rodionova, Coadan, and Seleni Perez. At the heart of our mission in the School and Family Partnership Office is the belief that strong relationships are the foundational to student success. We are proud to welcome these new leaders into our growing family and look forward to the many ways they will enrich our school and communities. At this time, I invite our IUPCLA congrats graduates to come forward for a group photograph, please. As they do, please join me in offering a warm round of applause one more time for their dedication, leadership, and commitment to ensure that every international student and family in ASCPS can belong, grow, and succeed.
And then we're going to take 3 steps back towards here. Okay, yep. Once they scoot back, you guys will scoot back. Okay, so we'll scoot back. Okay, how do we do, Michelle? And then you don't go there. I can go there. You compare.
Are we good?
Sorry, I skipped.
Thank you.
So at this time, we're going to be taking a brief break for some photographs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome back. Um, we're now on item 3.0, our public comments on agenda items, and we do not have, I believe we do not have any testimony from the public on agenda items. So we'll move on to item 4.01, our policy committee report. Ms. Shahan.
Yes, thank you. The policy committee met yesterday, April 1st, no fill-in. We discussed policy EJA sustainability plan, which is reviewed every 3 years per the policy. The suggested edits amounted to technical edits, and so the committee agreed that the edits didn't need to come before the full board because they're just technical in nature.
It's a rarity that our meetings are so short, but I'm certain that we will more than make up for that in the coming months with other things coming before us. As always, gratitude to Ms. Wilson and the staff for their hard work. And this concludes this edition of the Policy Committee report.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to be moving on to item 4.02, our president's report. And I do have a brief report. First of all, on March the 25th, I had the opportunity with some of my colleagues to attend the redistricting meeting held at Southern High. I'd like to thank Dr. Bedell and his staff for having that. It was very well attended, and we were good listeners. And there will be a few more. I think there's one coming up on April the 9th. Secondly, a few of us are going to be moving to Atlanta in the next few days for a National School Board convention. And so we're looking forward to that. We'll be spending Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Atlanta. And hopefully we're going to be getting some great things to bring back here to AACPS. Next, I'd like to call on Ms. Pullum to give us an update about our military award.
Thank you, President Silkworth. This is a reminder for high school seniors who plan to enlist in the military. The deadline is coming up later this month to apply for the Board of Education's Military Service Award in honor of Candace C.W. Antwine. As a reminder, this is the fourth year for these awards, which are given in memory of Miss Antwine, a former board member and Navy veteran. These awards assist with the initial expenses related to enlisting, including uniforms and basic training supplies, and aim to remove the financial barrier to military service men and women. The deadline to apply is April 21st, so if you know of anyone who could benefit from this award, please go to the website as seen on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pullum. So to complete my report, for the past several meetings, I've made this announcement, and it's about redistricting. The board understands that many people have questions and or concerns regarding the phase 2 redistricting process. So we are still pretty much at the beginning of a very collaborative process. And in support of that collaboration, a private consultant, WXY, was hired to put together scenarios. Those scenarios are just that. They are not proposals. They are not recommendations. The superintendent can amend the scenarios based on community feedback or other factors. In fact, that did occur in phase 1. Until the superintendent makes a recommendation to the board in July, the board will not be directly involved in any planning related to the redistricting. At this early juncture, the redistricting process is being led by the superintendent and staff with the consultant and the public's input. I encourage you to utilize the web tool that was created for you and your fellow community members to provide input to the superintendent so that he can formulate a recommendation or recommendations to the board. Please go to www.aacpsredistricting.org to view the scenarios and leave your comment by, I believe it's May the 15th. The board will select an option or options to bring forward for a public briefing and public hearings, which will be scheduled in September and October of 2025. Complete information about the redistricting process can be found at www.aacps.org/phase2 redistricting. Thank you so much. And that does conclude the president's report. So we're going to be moving on to item 4.03. Our superintendent's report. Dr. Kellogg.
Thank you, President Silkworth. I am honored to be presenting the superintendent's report on behalf of Dr. Bedell. I want to start with an awesome honor for one of our principals, Kelly McVeigh of Southern Middle School. Principal McVeigh has been named the Maryland Middle School Principal of the Year by the Maryland Association of Secondary School Principals. She is our school district's second state winner in the last 3 years. Dr. Bedell joined MASSP Executive Director Chris Treffer along with Ms. Pulliam and some of our senior and executive staff members, in surprising Principal McVeigh with the news about 2 Fridays ago. Principal McVeigh will now compete for the national award, which will be announced in July. Congratulations as well to Lori Fowler, our manager of senior learning, for earning the National Service Learning Practitioner Award from the National Youth Leadership Council. Service learning is a critical part of the educational experience in our school district, and Ms. Fowler does a great job leading that effort. Our Division of Human Resources held its annual Spring Teacher Recruitment Fair on Saturday, and the results were amazing. A record crowd of more than 250 teachers attended. That's another testament to the number of people who want to come to Anne Arundel County Public Schools and be a part of the work we are doing. School representatives at the event commented not just about the large numbers of applicants, but about the high quality of the event. That's more good news for our district and our students. A huge thank you to the Division of Human Resources team for their work in organizing a great experience for candidates. As a reminder, the second of 3 community meetings of Phase 2 of the redistricting process happens a week from today right here in the boardroom. Approximately 150 people attended the first meeting at Southern High School, and there was a lot of great conversation and public comment. Thanks to Mr. Silkworth, Ms. Pulliam, and Ms. McDermott for attending. There is an opportunity for up to 30 people to comment at the meetings. Those wishing to comment can sign up at www.aacps.org/phase 2 redistricting. Public comments on the scenarios that have been published can be left at www.aacpsredistricting.org through May 15th. As we do at each meeting, I want to provide an update on our vacancies. As a reminder, we have stopped tracking the teacher and teacher assistant numbers since our human resources team has turned its attention to hiring for the upcoming school year. Our vacancies in food and nutrition services have dropped slightly from the last report, and we continue to hold steady in other areas as we enter the final marking period of this school year. And finally, Dr. Bedell has asked us to discuss some upcoming changes in our pre-kindergarten program that will go into effect next fall. For that, I'd like to ask Chief Academic Officer Christina Catalano to come forward.
Thank you, Dr. Gillens. Good afternoon. As you are aware, for the last several years, we have offered pre-kindergarten programming to 3 and 4-year-old students. That is going to change for next year. In January, the Maryland State Board of Education and the Blueprint Accountability and Implementation Board jointly adopted a new policy that impacts the mixed delivery system for servicing pre-kindergarten students. It directs public school systems to focus on 4-year-old students and private systems and private providers to focus on 3-year-old pre-K students. That is what we are going to do this fall. This change will allow us to better serve our 4-year-old Tier 1 pre-K students. Those are students whose families are experiencing a high level of poverty. It also includes our students who are homeless, our multilingual learners, and our students with disabilities. I want to be clear that we are not cutting any pre-K resources. We are redirecting our pre-K resources from our pre-K 3 classrooms into our pre-K 4 classrooms. This will allow us to better serve more pre-K4 students in facilities that are closer to their homes than we had been previously able to serve them. I'm happy to announce for our families that pre-K registration does begin May 6th. Thank you, and I'll turn things back over to Dr. Gillens.
Thank you, Ms. Catalano. Mr. President, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So we're going to be moving on to item 5.01, presentation, Cultivating Communities of Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jody Reese, our Director of Food and Nutrition Services, and Christiana Walsh, our Coordinator of Health, Physical Education, and Dance, will lead this presentation. So I'd like to ask them and their guests, which they've already come forward, but to please do introductions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. President Silkworth, Vice President Dent, members of the board, and Dr. Gillens. For the record, my name is Jody Brissy. I'm the Director of Food and Nutrition Services for Anne Arundel County Public Schools, and I'm also one of the co-chairs for the Wellness Council here in Anne Arundel County. I'd like to take this opportunity for my colleagues with me today, as well as a student from Belle Grove Elementary School, to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. I'm Christiana Walsh, Coordinator of Health, Physical Education, and Dance, and also the co-chair of the Wellness Council.
Good afternoon. I'm Shelley Davenport. I'm the Community School Manager at Belle Grove Elementary.
Hi, I'm Carrie Allen, Principal at Belle Grove Elementary.
Good afternoon. My name is Eli Alcantara. I'm a 5th grade student at Belle Grove.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Mary Kay Connerton. I'm the Coordinator of Wellness for Anne Arundel County Public Schools and the 3rd co-chair of the Wellness Council.
We sit before you today to share our annual Wellness Council update, which intersects and highlights the importance of wellness in community schools. The coordinated school health model, which you see before you, places the students in the center of policies, practices, and procedures to ensure that all students are prepared for college, career, and their community. This coordinated school health approach, which is supported by the CDC, has been implemented in Anne Arundel County since 2006. The United States Department of Agriculture is the responsible agency that requires all school districts that participate in child nutrition programs to complete a triennial assessment. This triennial assessment reviews nutrition education, nutrition standards, physical activity, wellness promotion, and even wellness implementation at the school level. The Maryland State Department of Education is the agency that's responsible for administering this assessment, to collect the data and analyzing this data to look at the school health environment. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Christiana Walsh, who's going to do the intersection of the triennial assessment to the AACPS Wellness Scorecard.
Anne Arundel County Public Schools created their own wellness scorecard that aligns to the triennial assessment, yet expands its questioning to include all of the 10 components of the coordinated school health model. This scorecard also allows for schools to highlight their wellness achievements while analyzing any new opportunities. We are excited to share some initial findings of the scorecard with you today. Physical activity ignites the brain for learning and is connected to student academic achievement, priority 1 of our strategic plan. We asked all schools how frequently students are allowed physical activity breaks outside of physical education during the school day, and are excited to share that students engage in physical activity breaks daily in 94.5% of our schools, while the remaining 5.5% of our schools are offering physical activity breaks weekly. This is an increase from the 2022-2023 scorecard, where 85.6% of our schools reported purposely integrating movement opportunities throughout the day. I am proud to share that 100% of our schools are now providing physical activity breaks for students. In connection with our new strategic plan and priority 3, investing in our staff, we are elated to highlight that 100% of our schools provide activities that support employee wellness. We value our employees and their health. Now that we've heard a little bit about our AACPS and how we prioritize wellness for our students and staff, we will now hear from Belle Grove Elementary School, both a community school and a wellness school of distinction.
Thank you. Community schools often focus on wellness, so it's really no surprise that when we began our journey to become a wellness school of distinction, we quickly realized the efforts we were making were closely aligned with the work we were already doing as a community school. Through a partnership between AACPS, the Anne Arundel County Health Department, and Vision to Learn, 42 of our students received eyeglasses. A Vision to Learn van, complete with an optometrist, as you can see, visited our school. Picture an office with all the equipment, but in a big van. The kids loved it. This partnership is vital to academic success. Imagine being in a classroom and not being able to see the board, or being in a classroom and not being able to read the words on a page. One of our students actually said that if she covered one eye, she couldn't see out of the other. Another, when I spoke to her after she got her glasses, proudly told me that she was now on the honor roll, now that she had glasses. Another way that we promote wellness at Belgrove is through a monthly pop-up event held between the playgrounds. At these events, a variety of community partners, they join us and they provide resources, many of which are related to social emotional health. We also provide them with items such as soccer balls, fresh produce, and winter coats, all of which are stated needs in our community. We have created a school campus that gives our students and their families a place to gather. Benches and an outdoor classroom were added, and our Judy Center worked with the Anne Arundel County Watershed Stewards Academy to create a sensory garden. Students can smell lavender plants or touch the soft petals of a lamb's ear, and have participated in mindfulness in nature lessons where they learn how to use their 5 senses as a coping skill for stress. In closing, it's important to note that a great many of the wellness initiatives that we engage in at the school happen because of the partnerships we have forged as a community school. These are just several of our many, many partners.
Focusing on wellness initiatives has impacted our school in several ways. The AACPS strategic plan prioritizes investing in our staff, and since our intentional focus on wellness, our staff retention rate has increased by 3%. Also, focusing on the physical environment supports recruiting potential candidates to our school. At Belgrove, we strive to try to make employee wellness a priority. Some ways that we do this is through a self-care cart that's full of books, journals, slippers, anything that can help our staff remember to prioritize their self-care and mental health. We also encourage staff walks throughout the campus prior to professional developments. Our Bulldog Bowl is a favorite way to combine physical fitness with our staff and our students. And the class that shows the greatest increase in student performance at their mid-year assessments gets to have a flag football game against our staff members. The staff has an undefeated record, though, and we are 3-0. Another way we combine physical fitness and relationship building is through our buddy runners that partner with our Girls on the Run program. We try to bring joy to our school as much as possible, so you may see an impromptu scooter race down the hallways by staff members, again, prior to a staff development or meeting, just to get some exercise in, or everyone's favorite Dress Like a Student, where our staff digs out their hoodies and their slides and goes into school dressed as students. Soon. These intentional focus has also had an impact on our academic success, as was evidenced by an increase of 10% in our overall Maryland State Report Card score since becoming a wellness school of distinction. Specifically, we saw 28% growth in our students in English language arts as compared to other students across the state. We also saw gains with our English language learners in their proficiency and increases in our students' growth in math. One of the biggest areas of growth by creating this welcoming environment in our school was in attendance. We had a 10% increase in the number of students that were attending school 90% of the year or more. We are proud of this data, but one of the things that we know is the most important part of any school is their student voice. And so I would like to introduce Eli, our 5th grade Belgrove student, so that he can share some of the ways these wellness initiatives have impacted his school day.
There are tons of activities you could do at Belgrove. First, Beautiful Oops is a wall inspired by the book Beautiful Oops, where kids can make a mistake and they make something new out of it. I like Beautiful Oops because we can use our imagination and I can see other kids' creativity. Second, the basketball team started out as a club where you could train for basketball and then became a team where kids can play with other kids in other grades to go against kids in other schools in basketball matches. I like the team because we get to build friendships with other people and get out our energy with a sport, and it's something I look forward to during the week. Third, Gaga Ball Pit and Peaceful Playground are 2 outdoor activities for recess. They are both used when kids are bored of the playground or basketball court and field. I like having different options at recess. Belgrove Elementary has lots of opportunities for kids to succeed and learn, and I am happy to be a student there. Thank you.
Well done, Eli. That was amazing. Give him a little round of applause. You are a true testament to the impact that wellness has on the whole being. And thank you to each of you being with us today on this journey as we explore the impacts of wellness at the state, district, and schoolhouse level, all that tie back to the guiding lights of our strategic plan, specifically Priority 4 in supporting the whole child, and then our Maryland Blueprint, specifically Pillar 4, for more resources to ensure that all students are successful. So what is the why? Let's go back to that. Why should we have a defined wellness program? Well, as we've seen today, increases in academic performance, student and staff well-being satisfaction, access to well-being resources, the partnerships that begin and continue to ensue, and then the cultural shift that grows within the whole school community. Back in August of 2019, ACPS furthered its commitment to wellness and the whole child by incorporating further wellness initiatives under the oversee of a coordinator of wellness. These initiatives here are examples of what we've been able to do just since then. We've been able to establish a cohort of wellness liaisons serving schools through 9th through 12th, and specifically having projects that meet the needs of those schools, such as Phoenix Academy and J. Albert Adams at Mary Moss. You can see by the Mindful Meditation Project photo of having a panel discussion with students and staff sharing the impacts of wellness practices being embedded in their school day. Furthermore, we've been able to have several community wellness events under the umbrella of wellness and school and family partnerships, including the first Anne Arundel County Public Schools Hispanic Wellness event, Celebración del Hispano Bienestar. And lastly, we've been able to establish a student wellness council, students representing grades 9th through 12th, and helping to assist in providing district-wide initiatives and events such as the Avidum Suicide Prevention Countywide Student Event. We are so excited to see how this program can continue to grow and belong and succeed.
As you can see, wellness is the key ingredient to the recipe for success for our students, our staff, our families, and our communities. Together, we come together to belong, grow, and succeed.
On behalf of the Wellness Council, we thank Mrs. Jackson for her continued vision and leadership as we highlight the intersection between community school and wellness.
In health and wellness, we thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Stent.
So first of all, thank you very much. This is really exciting because I love the fact that you have a young man here who can actually, I like the beautiful oops as well. I do a lot of beautiful oops. I don't know if they're so beautiful, but I do agree with you that, it's great to turn, I said, lemons into lemonade. So thank you for coming. This is so cool. You can go tell all of your friends that you did really good and that you didn't miss a beat. Okay. But to you all, I really appreciate the work that you have done in the wellness area. It's not so much just to come to work and really worry about being a teacher, but the other side of that is being able to enjoy where you work. And each time I'm at Belgrove, there's like this amazing motivation that is kind of infectious. It makes you want to jump in and do exactly what they're doing. I know because I jumped on the slide and realized I was too big for it. So, in all truth and honesty, right, you just have a community that makes, and I know wellness is a big part of it. And so I appreciate that. So I do want to say that to Principal Allen, that keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing work. And my favorite program is Vision to Learn. I did not have any vision problems forever. And then all of a sudden I turned to this certain age and I can't see 2 feet in front of me, right? And so vision became really apparent to me. But I remember when my sister, who's a little bit younger than me, about 16 years, my mother got carried away. But she came to visit me and I was at Fort Hood and we were putting up the grocery. And so I said, pass me the cornflakes that says, cornflake cereal box that said Frosted Flakes on it. And she's literally was standing 3 feet away and she said, which one? I said, seriously? And I was like, you can't read Frosted Flakes? And then I was like, wait a minute, stand back. And so I took her back a few steps and I said, you really don't know? And so I gave her the box and she's like, oh, Frosted Flakes, you should have just said the blue box. No, you should be able to see this. And I realized immediately that she couldn't see. And it wasn't that she couldn't read, she literally could not see. So of course I got her 3 sets of glasses from American Best, right? But just think, if she would have had this program, and they were actually getting ready to put her back, but again, she literally was 9 years old. No one had ever tested to see, could she see? And today she always tells this story about if it had not been for that incident, she would not be able to not only pass her classes, because no one said, sit at the front of the class so you could see. It wouldn't have mattered. She could not see. So I thank you for doing that program, and I thank you for continuing to help students that literally would not be able to see had it not been for that. So kudos to you, and thank you all very much for what you're doing.
Thank you, Ms. Dent. So seeing no more lights, I have a comment or two. Whole school, whole community, whole child. I just took some 100%. I think that's called perfection. The vision to learn. I had the opportunity to be there. And what an amazing event. It's one of the most amazing events I've been to for the past few years. Just to see the look in the eyes of those children. I think it was 40 some, as I remember, 42, who received glasses and they could see. Think of the doors that's going to open for them. It kind of makes me reflect about how about the doors that might have been closed, and how about the doors that might still be closed for some of our kids. So that vision to learn is a vision that has to grow. Wellness partnerships, what a difference. Employee wellness, it's a priority. Thank goodness. And the data is amazing, 10% increase on the scorecard. And of course, student voice matters. Congratulations, young man, great job. I have to say, we are all very proud of you. And so I just feel like I need to make this comment. The blueprint mandates that resources be sent where the needs are. And in the past few months, we've heard some discussion among some of our political friends about pausing community schools. What a mistake if they were to ever do something like that, because look at the results. They are absolutely extraordinary and amazing. Please do not do anything to pause the community's wonderful job. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. This is marvelous. Dr. Gillen, thank you. Okay, we're going to be moving on to item 5.02, our long-range facilities plan.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we have coming up to us Chief Operating Officer Bill Heiser and his team. They will present on this agenda item to the board.
Thank you. President Silkworth, Vice President Dent, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Gillens, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Bill Heiser, Chief Operating Officer, and I'm joined by Kyle Roof, our Director of Facilities. And we're here today just to give you a brief and high-level update on our long-range facility plan that is underway and we're in the midst of. By way of background, many of you know that in 2005 and 2015, we had a strategic facilities master plan, both very successful. They're often referred to as the MGT master plan. And we're currently have underway our 2025 long-range facilities study that's taking place that will result in a master plan. And in that, we're identifying the facility needs that we have. We're establishing recommended priorities, and we're providing an objective decision-making tool in doing so. To recap 2015, the long-range successes, there were many, and oftentimes in Anne Arundel County, because there are so many great things happening, sometimes I even may overlook the success that's happening that you see on the screen. In other school systems, I will tell you that they do not have the amount of projects being completed at the pace that we're doing and the quality at which they're being done. And so in the last study, we had 100.03 billion in projects completed. You see the new projects, new schools that were built, Crofton High School, Severn Run High School, and Two Rivers Elementary School recently. You see the list of replacement schools that have happened over that 10-year period, quite remarkable, and a renovation in Wiley H. Bates Middle School that happened as well. And so want to mention those successes and thank the facilities team, but also most of all, this Board of Education for the support that they've shown the school system and our state and local government in terms of supporting those projects. We're excited about 2025 and the goals we have are currently on the screen there. And so we're going to, when this is completed, we will have updated and have a master plan for the board. We're going to provide 10-year recommendations for facilities capital improvement and building utilization. That'll give us a guide for the next 10 years. We want to make sure that this process is inclusive and transparent for planning purposes, that it's not behind closed doors, that it's out in the open. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. And we want to make sure that these decisions are done in a data-driven way, that those recommendations have data to support the recommendations behind them. We know that this plan and study will have many, many long-term financial and educational impacts. You see them listed there to make sure that we have sustainable buildings for the future. We want to make sure we're prioritizing our capital funding request the correct way. We want to make sure that we put in place a prioritization for systemic renovations and maintenance projects. Again, we want to make sure it's data-driven in determining the location and needs for additions. We want a clear process on how we're going to evaluate sufficient educational space. And we want to make sure that how we're projecting utilization of schools is done the right way in conjunction with redistricting, which we're currently undergoing as well. And obviously, any future land acquisitions that we want to work with our county partners on, making sure that we have a clear direction there. So there are many educational and financial impacts when we make these kinds of decisions. In terms of a timeline, as a reminder, back in 2023 December, we advertised for a long-range study consultant. The board approved the consultant in April of 2024, and we got underway with that consultant May through December in conducting building surveys and data collection kind of behind the scenes in a very objective way. We've also been working with staff in schools in terms of conducting a survey to get their feedback and input on the prioritization that they see for our schools. And you see that took place in March of 2025. Today is the brief presentation that we're holding, and we will, in just a moment, I'll talk a little bit about a web tool that we'll be releasing just after this meeting. In May 2019, or May 19th of 2025, we will have a workshop just on long-range facilities plan. More in depth, more information, more discussion, likely many, many more questions. And we look forward to that workshop on the 19th of May. We'll be coming up with a master plan report, a draft of one in June, and a final report in August of 2025, with a presentation to the board in September of 2025. The primary areas of this study, very similar to redistricting, is that we want to make sure that these 5 areas are done well, and we want to make sure that our buildings are utilized. We want to make sure that things are sustainable, our energy consumption and financial impact from the Maryland Building Energy Performance Standards is done at a high level. Educational adequacy, we want to make sure that the educational learning environment in our schools are meeting the correct indicators. And so much of the survey in which we assessed schools and worked with our staff was around this area of educational adequacy. We'll review the modified age of the building, the last time the building was renovated. All of that will be taken into account. And also, most importantly, and oftentimes, sometimes we communicate with board members or community members around very specific challenges or an issue here or there that we may have physically in our school. All those things are taken into account as we review the physical infrastructure of each and every building in our system. I mentioned public engagement. That's an important component of our next step. And so we're scheduled on April 4th to June 1st to have a web tool for feedback. So very similar to the web page and tool that's available for the public on redistricting, we will have a similar tool available starting on April 4th, just around long-range facilities planning. And the feedback is really centering on prioritizing the 5 focus areas that you see on the screen, the capacity of our buildings, and we want our community to be able to prioritize these areas from their vantage point, which is really important. And the 5 areas are capacity of buildings, facility condition, energy and efficiency, educational effectiveness, and building age. In addition to that, obviously, there'll be numerous meetings to garner feedback in other ways with whether it be elected officials or members of the board or other staff, and we'll be having those meetings throughout. As we approach summer and fall, again, the overall rankings should be data-driven. We want to consider the feedback from the community, from our schools, from everyone involved. And so we're going to have to assess the needs of our students and school system. And so a final report and board presentation will happen in early September. And I just want to accentuate this is the fact that the formal and informal communication, just as it is in redistrict, is going to be really important as we move through this process. And we want to make sure that we do that in a really transparent way. So with that, that concludes kind of the high-level review. Mr. Roof and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time. Again, I want to remind you the May 19th workshop will be a really great opportunity for us to dive in, and we'll have so much more specific information at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Heiser. Ms. Pullum.
Thank you, Dr. Heiser. As you know, the South County part of Anne Arundel County has wanted a school for many years, and the issue has always been capacity. So if I'm hearing you correctly, once we've level set, then we can actually maybe have consideration on a building based on the other criteria. And will it be too early, or will we be right there in the running, or do you have to, by the time the recommendation rolls out, the redistricting will be almost parallel? So how does that work for the schools that aren't actually balanced yet, but the intent is to have them balanced. And I hope that made sense.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're in an interesting timeline, right? So we have a capital funding program that follows the CIP funding timeline. By that, we need to have immediate needs done in September. So that would be for the next fiscal year. We envision that there would be an update reflective of redistricting following the final decision by the board in November.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Dent?
So great presentation, and I look forward to the May 19th presentation on facility. So the timeline that you had was from April 4th to June 1st for the public input. So I guess after we finish that, is there a schedule? Yeah, okay. So during the August final report and the September presentation, the focus areas that you had, which I did not write them down, I think it was the capacity of building, facility conditions, energy efficient, educational effectiveness of building nature. So much like any of the other programs that you're that you're putting out there, is there a way for, in addition to those things, is there a way for the public to put input into the study outside of these areas? Is there like an other? But these are the only fundamental areas that they come in.
So in the web tool itself, it's made by the same folks that did the redistricting tool. So there'll be a web map, there'll be a survey component, and a comment section. So individual users would be able to comment on specific schools or infrastructure needs that could benefit the county at large, whether that be sidewalk networks or whether that be other components that need to be looked at for various schools. And that's an option where they can add long form responses to us.
And then my part two is that is there a relationship with the county as we are building facilities, so building out the facility for the needs or the building needs state? Is there any collaboration with the county? Bringing a good point up about the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Because as we build the schools, as we are renovating current schools, the sidewalk issues still continue to be a problem. Is there any collaboration with the county as we talk about the out years of the facilities?
Yeah, Dr. Heiser and myself meet with county, state officials on and agency heads to discuss those various issues throughout the school year. We help develop a priority list and also work with the sidewalk program with DPW.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dent. Seeing no more lights, I would simply suggest that, I've been through a few of these. Community involvement, for those out there that are watching, community involvement in this process is critical. And I'm thinking that web tool is going to be as valuable as the web tool is in the redistricting process. So people need to make use of that web tool. And we need to make sure that we can get it out there so that they know that it's there for them to access and give us whatever their thoughts might be. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to May also. Okay, we're going to be moving on to items, our award of contracts, consent items. Do I hear a motion to bundle?
Motion to bundle items 6.01 through 6.13.
Second.
Do we have consensus? And we do have consensus, Dr. Gillum.
Thank you, Mr. President. The superintendent recommends approval of contracts for agenda items 6.01 through 6.13 as listed on today's agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We do have a second. Any discussion? Ms. Howe?
Ms. Schulheim?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, moving on to action items. Item 7.01, administrative personnel appointments. Dr. Gillum.
The superintendent recommends for the personnel listed on the attached sheet be promoted and or appointed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no lights, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Schulheim,
Aye.
Ms. McFarland,
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Ms. McDermott,
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, item 7.02, personnel. Dr. Gillums.
The superintendent recommends the board approve the actions as stipulated on the attached sheets.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Schulheim,
Aye.
Ms. McFarland,
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi,
Aye.
Ms. Dent,
Aye.
Ms. McDermott,
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam,
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, moving on to item 7.03, grading, what's on second reading, code 2. Good afternoon, Ms. Wilson.
Good afternoon, President Silkworth, Vice President Dent, Dr. Gillens, and members of the board. I'm Grace Wilson. I'm the Senior Specialist for Legislation and Policy for the district. Policy II grading is before you on second reading this afternoon. There was no public comment received during the 30-day public comment period. As a reminder, this policy was requested for review this school year by staff in order to make time-sensitive changes to the valedictorian and salutatorian process that will be implemented this school year. Staff has recommended removing the word character from the application as they felt it was subjective and unfair. Staff is also requesting that the board take action today to waive the timeline for adoption of policy II in accordance with regulation BFRA policy setting. In order to adopt policy II today, this requires a unanimous vote of the board. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions you have on policy II.
Ms. Hamdawi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your time as always, Ms. Wilson. Quick question. Is the valedictorian and salutatorian selection process going to be different from high school to high school, or is it something that is cohesive and organized by central office?
I will defer to my colleagues in the Office of Academics
Thank
for
you.
that question.
Good afternoon, Chair Silkworth, Vice President Dent, members of the board, Dr. Gillens. My name is Dr. George Roberts. I serve as the Associate Superintendent here in Anne Arundel County Public Schools and the lead on this particular policy revision. So, Ms. Hamdawi, yes, the procedure will be the same. It consists of a survey questionnaire for students. So pending approval, we will allow then our high school principals to meet with students to share the expectations, share the application, if you will, to become valedictorian, salutatorian, to be selected for it, and that'll be the same throughout all the high schools. They will submit that to the principal and to the panel for review and then selection.
Thank you. And the panel, is that also the same throughout the high schools, or is that a principal's discretion?
Right. So my understanding is each high school has a group of staff. So it consists of teachers, administrators, other staff who will review applications similar to how they review the student speakers for graduation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Pulliam.
So thank you so much for reviewing this policy, and I want to thank the CAC for all the work that they did on this policy as well, because it really did take the community engagement along with the staff and the board. So thank you. I personally, in the work that I do, this is a really important policy, and having that brought back to our school system, I think, is a huge leap, and I'm so excited for that. Now students will be able to, it'll help them as they go and apply for grants and scholarships, especially for our underserved community. And this is something that's really important. So I can't thank you enough for all that you did, and Ms. Schellheim leading the committee on this effort. Thank you. The question that I did not ask that I thought about this morning, with the criteria that we have, are we comparing apples to apples, meaning other counties, other districts, do they also look at these variables? Are we the only ones that look at those variables?
So based on the committee meeting that we held about a month, 2 months ago with board members, we took the feedback of looking at other districts. So specifically Calvert County. We also looked at a handful of other counties. Specifically, some counties do it Similar. So the answer is kind of. There are other districts who will use qualifications for it. Many of them, though, will just stick with the strict QPA, highest QPA, and then work down for valedictorian, salutatorian. So it's a kind of yes. There are some who are similar, but many of them really just use the strict.
And would that
QPA.
hinder them, do you think, at all with this approach?
Which group?
That ours. If
No.
there's some, okay.
No, but it's part of our research as well, at the direction of the board, was to speak to higher ed. So we did reach out to UMS and reach out to other local universities, and we were given assurances that no, that the way that we were proposing would not hinder a child when they're applying to a university or college.
Well, again, thank you very much. I think this is a huge step in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess just one final question. The makeup of the panel is the same in all high schools. The determinant factor as to who chooses the members of the panel, is that the principal in the school?
Principal. The principals will.
Okay. Okay, so I see no more lights. I think we do have a motion. Ms. Dent?
Mr. President, I move that the board waive the timeline for policy discussion in order to adopt policy II grading today.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing no more lights, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Dent moved that the board waive the timeline for policy discussion in order to adopt policy II grading at today's meeting. Ms. Shawhan?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, so now we're going to need a motion for action on this item. Do I hear a motion? Oh, Dr. Gillum.
Thank you. I move that the superintendent is making a recommendation that the word character is removed from the regulation.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Actually, before we continue, I think it's my understanding that that has already occurred. The word character has been removed, so actually we're voting on the policy itself.
Yes, you're voting on
I
adoption of the policy
apologize.
on third reading,
No
subject to
problem.
style and formatting.
No problem. So the recommendation from the superintendent.
Yes, Mr. Silkworth.
Is the recommendation from the superintendent is the adoption of the policy that's in front of us. You're welcome.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second, very good. So seeing no lights, no discussion, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Shawhan?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdawi?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Thank you. You're staying with us. So we're moving on to items 7.04, items of legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Silkworth. Again, for the record, I'm Grace Wilson, Senior Legislative and Policy Specialist for the district. There is not an items of legislation exhibit before you this afternoon because there has not been new legislation introduced to the General Assembly since the last legislative exhibit was before you. However, I did want to provide a brief update on House Bill 226 and Senate Bill 569, Anne Arundel County and the board's priority legislation for this session. As I shared with you at the last board meeting, the House had moved unanimously to approve the bill on third reading and is now for consideration with the Senate. Unfortunately, the Maryland General Assembly session ends Monday, and at this point in time, we have not been scheduled for a hearing at the Senate. We continue to work with our Senate state elected partners to ask them to act favorably on the bill, and we'll continue to do so through sine die on Monday. I'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Ms. Shahan.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, for all your hard work on this. It's just sort of infuriating, I guess is the right word. There's a lot of words going through my head at the moment. Not all of them are polite. That set a bill that we've put forward now for the third year that speaks to innovation and scheduling, although let's be real, like this is not very innovative. This is just common sense, is being met with such opposition on the Senate side. I want to commend Delegate Bagnall and the Anne Arundel delegation for all of the good work that they've done to this point. Like their leadership does not go unnoticed, but it really truly is infuriating that we're once again in this position because it's Wednesday, sine die is Monday. I can do some math. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's getting drawered. So that's infuriating. And then they want us to be innovative. And then they won't get out of their own way to allow us to actually be innovative. So yeah, it's maddening. Very disappointing. And so to those on the Senate side that have had our back this whole time, y'all know who you are. I thank you. And for those that haven't to this point or have said they're going to do things and then haven't, I ask you to do better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no more lights?
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 7.05, 2025-26 public session hearing and workshop dates. Yeah, motion?
Yes. Motion to adopt the attached sheet on the public hearings and workshops. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no lights, Ms. Howe.
Ms. Shawhan?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Ms. Hamdowie?
Aye.
Ms. Dent?
Aye.
Ms. McDermott?
Aye.
Ms. Pulliam?
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, so review items 8.01, award of contracts. No concerns. Okay, so that does bring us to the next portion, which would be public comment on non-agenda items. Ms. Howe, do we have the individual? I need to have the name. I don't think I have that. Okay, before we have this is one of the opportunities that the board provides to hear the views and receive the advice of community members. The members of this board appreciate hearing from interested citizens. As appropriate, we will refer your concerns to the superintendent for follow-up by his staff. While we encourage public input on policies, programs, and practices within the purview of this board and the school system, this is not the proper forum to address specific student or employee matters or to comment on matters that do not relate to the public education in Arundel County. I remind everyone that any inappropriate personnel remarks or other behavior that disrupts or interferes with the conduct of this meeting are out of order. Anyone who otherwise disrupts or disturbs the meeting will not be allowed to continue their remarks. It is not the board's general practice to engage in question and answer sessions with speakers. For the record, please give your name before speaking. If you have any handouts, they should be given to the board assistant. I do ask that speakers observe the 2-minute clock. A yellow light will shine when you have 30 seconds remaining, and a tone will sound when your time has expired. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the tone. If you continue after your time has expired, the microphone may be turned off. It could also be turned off if a speaker addresses specific student or employee matters or are commenting on matters not related to public education. So we do have one speaker, and Julia Laws. Ms. Laws.
Good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Julia Laws. I think the rest of you do know me. Just a short period of time ago, we were on the campaign trail and we heard from many of you that were peddling those poisonous apple ballots that you were educator recommended and you cared about your educators, you cared about your students, and you cared about providing safe learning environments. Over the weekend, I learned that we still are having an issue with that. At Severna Park High School, we have a teacher that is undergoing chemotherapy and is trying to work through it because our policies here do not allow for her to take time off for her treatments. I don't know how we can say that we put employee wellness as a priority when we are having our staff members in the building.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, you're talking about specific personnel items but that's not allowed, so.
Okay, so then let's talk just in general. Policies when you have staff members, because you here in this boardroom also have undergone this. There needs to be leave. I don't know if it's between you, TAC, or the superintendent. Somebody needs to fix the policies. Imagine being a student in any of our schools that has to sit and watch one of their teachers that they care about undergo the side effects of that kind of treatment. Do you think that they're learning anything? They're not. That's not a safe learning environment. All they can focus on is the fact that they're losing, that they're watching somebody that they care about. They're retaining any of that information. So if anybody would like to contact me privately so that we can work on a solution to that specific incident that I'm referring to, please do. Ms. Schulheim, I'm going to ask that you gain your composure because not only is that school in your district, the teacher as well as her family and the parents that contacted me are all constituents of yours.
You need to conclude your testimony.
Thank you.
So
Have
much.
a great day.
Thank you. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to close.
Second?
I'm sorry. Motion to adjourn.
Yes. So before we do that, just a few announcements. The next board meeting will be here in the boardroom, 6:30 p.m. start, April the 23rd. And I think the budget committee will be meeting a 12 p.m. virtual meeting, April the 22nd. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. Have a great day.